This is the James Ruggles Show, dedicated to the arts in '66 in Oklahoma. And today our show is based on the architectural form of Tulsa Art Deco, which filled the beautiful Tulsa area starting in the late 1920s. Tulsa went through a building renaissance in the year 1927. Buildings were put up downtown at an average of $1 million a month and continued at a high level afterwards. The features were new artistic designs influenced by Mayan, Mexican, terracotta, Egyptian, and city streamlining looks and zigzag vertical columns. Art Deco was the new name, and it was enhanced further during the Great Depression by Public Works Administration, or PWA, buildings and art brought about by Roosevelt's New Deal that gave a lot of artists and architects work. This continued through World War II, and after World War II, new looks in Art Deco came about, and its distant cousin, Googie, which had a space-age George Jetson look. The late 1960s, it was revived, and by 1999 to the present, Retro Deco. Some famous examples of Art Deco in Tulsa are the Boston Avenue Methodist Church downtown, designed by Bruce Goff, in its incisiveness, but its spiritual beauty, from Ada Robinson, who was his teacher, as well as for many others. And she was a master of religious symbolism. For instance, an upward vertical look that goes out is symbolic of openness, and also of open-mindedness in the modern sense of religion, as opposed to the old architecture used to have closed lines. The Philcott and Philco buildings were built as offices for Wade Phillips, oilman, and are in a zigzag streamlined mode of Art Deco. The Spotlight Theater, where The Drunkard melodrama is performed, was originally Patty Adams Schreiner's piano studio home. The original warehouse market is on the edge of downtown and has mostly Egyptian and American Indian designs in terracotta. It was Native American marketplace for many arts and crafts. Venturing beyond downtown, West Hope was a house built by Frank Lloyd Wright, and also Price Tower in Bartlesville, and in the Tulsa metro area, the Frankoma Potter Historical House. Many other examples exist of famous Art Deco in and around Tulsa. The old train depot is an example of World War II Roosevelt WPA architecture. And after World War II, the areas around Utica Square and Edison High School especially became filled with Art Deco houses. In 1966, Oral Roberts University was built according to George Jetson Googie style architecture. By 1999, Retro Deco had come about. Tulsa Transit Authority was in this vein, and some banks, and the 19,000 person capacity BOK Performance Center. As the future moves on, maybe a Renaissance Googie Deco will come along, as well as space cowboy architecture along Route 66 in and around Tulsa. Who knows what the future will hold? That concludes our portion of Tulsa Art Deco. Feel free to peruse our photographs, and remember, the James Ruggles Show is dedicated to the arts in '66 in Oklahoma. Happy exploring!